We start in Washington, where the House of Representatives' article of impeachment against former President Donald Trump will be delivered to the Senate on Monday. This is, of course, according to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who also said this triggers the process leading to a trial.
We have three essential items on our plate. One, the confirmation of President Biden's cabinet and other key officials. Two, legislation to provide desperately needed COVID relief. Three, a second impeachment trial of Donald Trump. The Senate must and will do all three.
So with us now to talk more about this is Bloomberg congressional reporter Anna Edgerton. Anna, thanks for being here. Before we get to impeachment, President Biden spoke earlier today. Can you give us a quick briefer of what his main points were?
Yeah, Biden's trying to start off his presidency on a strong foot, and it's really hard to do with the composition he has in Congress. He has the Senate and the House of Representatives in Democratic hands, but by really thin margins. So what Biden is going to have to do, and what we've seen him do already, is use executive actions to unroll some of Trump's executive actions that were put in place unilaterally, not going through Congress. So, Biden can do that to a certain extent, but when it gets to things like this $1.9 trillion proposal that he has for to respond to the coronavirus pandemic, that's something that has to go through Congress. So right now he's trying to work with his Democratic allies, reach across the aisle to Republicans to see what, if anything, could get done on that. Right.
He'll be doing a lot of negotiation. And so what else we know is that as of today, the president is pleading for more time before an impeachment trial starts. And Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell also asked to delay this for 3 weeks in a proposal yesterday. A few Democrats also asked Nancy Pelosi. Why did Speaker Pelosi decide to file now rather than later?
Part of it, I think, is they just wanted to get it over with. The longer this is hanging out there, the longer it takes for the country to move on from the Trump presidency. So, we had heard talk about even trying to do a 3-day trial to just, kind of go through the motions almost. But Senate Republicans have said that it's important to allow former President Trump to present his defense. So they're saying they want at least a week between the articles going over from the House and giving Trump's team time to put together their defense. But, it's kind of a hard balancing act for Democrats because, like you said, they're trying to confirm Biden's nominees for his cabinet and also to start acting on his coronavirus proposal. So, there's a lot of balls in the air, and there's still no agreement in the Senate on how they're actually going to organize a Senate that's split 50-50 and just goes to Democrats by virtue of Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote as vice president.
You're absolutely right. In the proceedings, the House impeachment managers, they would be prosecutors. The Senate would be jury. But can the Senate, can Democrats walk and chew gum at the same time? Is this a realistic expectation for them to be able to do this as well as get a stimulus package and a whole other host of things through?
Yeah, according to Senate rules, as soon as the impeachment articles are sent over, the impeachment trial has to start. They could change the schedule if they have unanimous consent, but it would just take one senator to object to that for them to have to, by the Senate's rules, start the impeachment trial at 1 p.m. the following day. So if they send the articles of impeachment from the House on Monday, as Schumer said they were going to do, that would mean the Senate trial is starting on Tuesday. And it would take an agreement between Republicans and Democrats to do other Senate business at the same time. So what we saw for Trump's first impeachment trial is that there was everything focused on impeachment. There was no other Senate business that was done. During Clinton's impeachment trial in the late 90s, there was limited Senate business that was conducted before the impeachment trial started each day, but that was a bipartisan agreement that allowed that to happen. So there's a lot riding right now on the conversations between Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Now let's talk about the past impeachment trial as it relates to the one now. They have the same counsels, Barry Burke and Joshua Matz, who were in Trump's first impeachment trial. And so do you know anything about what their strategy might be like this time around?
Yeah, there are a few themes that we've heard just from what the impeachment managers have said publicly. You know, one thing is that they didn't feel the need to spend a lot of time gathering witness testimony and gathering evidence because they say everyone present there in that joint session of Congress on January 6th was a witness. They saw what happened. They heard the president's words. They saw the president's supporters storm the Capitol. So, you know, that should be enough, Democrats argue, for Republicans to join Democrats in convicting Trump of breaking his oath of office. The other point that's been really interesting that, you know, we'll see how much they emphasize this in the actual case, but the fact that President Trump took so long to call in reinforcements, to call in additional National Guard, that there was no tweet from the president or outreach to his supporters to tell them to leave the Capitol building. You know, it was hours after that the president still was saying, this was a beautiful day, remember this forever. So I think that fact weighed very heavily, certainly on Democrats, but also on some Republicans.
All right. It does look like it weighed heavily. And so far, all we know is that President Trump has at least one counsel, and that is Butch Bowers from South Carolina, who's famously known for helping the former South Carolina governor. Thank you so much for being here, Anna Edgerton.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.